Generosity is not just about giving of your salary, giving of your income as it comes in each month. We always want to look at also our total asset base. God owns everything. He owns the cattle on 1,000 hills. He owns our assets. And so as we approach this season of generosity, we want to talk about some ways to look at giving of assets. Not only is it a tax benefit in a lot of ways, not only is it a personal benefit, it's a kingdom benefit. And so it will benefit the church greatly. Alex, what are some ways that we can give strategically in the season ahead?
Yeah, well, a lot of people often think of giving as a month-to-month or an annual thing of income, right? Hey, whatever income is coming in, I'll tithe and give off of that. But one thing that we often miss is we have a lot of people who will steward their money well as far as savings, right? So for years and years, they built up savings and they have these stored assets. And it is in time, like you're saying, where everything belongs to God, where we can take a look and say, maybe the income isn't there to give as much as what you would want, but how can we be strategic about other ways of giving? So a couple different things to think about is you can give stocks. If you have any appreciated stocks, whether that's stocks that your company give you, or you just have a non-retirement account where you've done savings and you've had appreciated stock over time, what's great is if you give those stock shares to the church during this campaign, then you don't pay capital gains on it and the church doesn't either. So it's a way to have less taxes and more to the kingdom. If you already have what's called a donor advised fund or a foundation, and you have stored assets specifically meant for giving, this is a great opportunity to deploy those assets for a wonderful cause.
Yeah.
So those are, and then if you are over the age of 70 and a half, there's a great provision where out of your IRAs, you're able to do charitable distributions, which is great because for you to take that money out otherwise, it would be a taxable event. But you can give it tax-free if you're over 70 and a half to a church or charity of your choice.
That's great. That's great. Is there anything that we can do with, let's say, selling of real estate, or let's say you've got like a partnership interest or other pieces that are happening, those non-cash items, but things that might create taxable events for said individuals?
Yeah, these are very specific situations, but first I would say, talk with your financial professionals and your CPAs, but there are ways, if you've got rental real estate, if you've got commercial real estate, if you have business interests, to directly give those to a donor advised fund, and you're able to exit those investments tax-free and have those deployed towards charitable giving and kingdom work as well.
That's great, Alex. Yeah, thank you so much for giving us a couple real life examples there. Yeah. Alex, for folks that have just been saving, they're savers. How do you balance that mindset of saving with generosity? You want to not just forget about tomorrow, but also be strategic in how you approach different things. What does that look like?
Yes, so Proverbs tells us how wise it is to save for the future, right? We are called to be thoughtful for the future, to make sure that our family, our community, maybe even the next generation is provided for. But so often we can get in that mindset of saving that we're actually saving too much. And that's when we get these stores of excess. And so one thing to think about is, okay, if you have been saving and you have met what I like to call your finish line, right? Hey, based off how much you have saved right now, you've met the need to be content and provide for your family and those around you and maybe even the next generation. But it's times like this where you can say, okay, I've met my finish line. Now, God, what do we do with the excess above and beyond that? And so those conversations and those types of thinking are a way to honor the Lord and the gift that He's given us as savers during this time.
Yeah. And what better way to lay a foundation, a legacy for your kids in faith in this community than with the Compelled campaign and what God's doing in a future building here at the church.
Absolutely. And the other thing that I'll say is, from being able to witness this time and time again, people who are generous givers in this way have the most joy. Money has less control over them. So from a heart of loving other people, there's nothing I can say that's better for us than to be generous. We'll have a better relationship with money. We'll have joy. And I think that's why God says He loves a cheerful giver, is because He knows it's truly what's best for our soul as well.
Amen. Buzzword from 2020, cryptocurrency.
Yes. If
what
there
are some
is,
ways to give in that way?
Yeah, some people do have large amounts of cryptocurrency, and I would say talk with Daniel about what that might look like to give cryptocurrency during this time to the church as well.
Yeah, Alex and I are always available as resources if you've got questions. Talk to your financial advisors as well, and see what God might do in your hearts in this season of giving ahead.
Yeah, and we're praying for encouragement of everyone a part of this church to move forward in this season of generosity.
Yeah, what a joyful time.